Welcome, everybody, to another Google Plus Hangout with SportsBlog.com. An interesting guest today, Tamika Catchings. Folks, this is the Michael Jordan of the WNBA, the LeBron James all combined. She is all everything. Member of the All-Decade. I'm going to go through this. Now, this could take 30 minutes because of all your accolades, by the way. Member of the All-Decade team, top 15 team, Olympic gold medalist, 9-time NBA All-Star, 5-time Defensive Player of the Year, WNBA Most Valuable Player, WNBA Champion. I mean, I could keep going on and on and on. Congratulations on all your success, and we look forward to talking with you today. Seth has a question. Go ahead, Seth.
Well, Tamika, it's great to get a chance to speak to you. I feel like we've met now, even though it's the virtual internet. The first thing I would want to say about the WNBA is I compliment that league for affordable ticket prices. You can take a family there and it doesn't break you. And I think some of sports' ticket prices are so exorbitant that it just seems to be inappropriate. And I love that the WNBA offers that to fans. My question, though, is, you know, so much talk about what a professional women's team is like as compared to a men's. So here's my real deep down question. Are there as many practical jokers in a women's locker room as there are as perceived in a men's locker room?
That's an interesting question. I think every team varies, and you could probably look at the teams and figure out which players are what, you know, as far as practical jokers. We have a few people on our team, and to be honest, I play a little joke. I play some jokes on my teammates here and there, but it's all in fun, and I think, you know, just having that close atmosphere with each other, and I mean, you're trying to build the camaraderie between your teammates, and that's the way that you do it, and not in a bad way, but, you know, everybody's laughing and everybody's having a good time.
Awesome. Good. I like that question. That was good. Yeah. Caroline, you're up.
Yeah, Tamika, you mentioned back in '96 watching Lisa, Dawn, and Cheryl when you were on your first USA basketball team. Fast forward through the years, can you talk about some of your favorite memories, whether it was an Olympic team or some of the junior teams or on or off the court?
Wow. So many memories, and I know Carol Callan, who has been with me pretty much from the beginning of my career, is about to celebrate her 20th year, right? So we're going to be celebrating together next year. But it's just, I think just the relationship that you have with players, you know, those are the things that I take. And, you know, even looking at the WNBA and all the great players that are spread out amongst the teams, it's like we all have that relationship, the ones that have played, whether it's been on the junior national team to the senior national team. You have that experience. I think the junior team is different just because it was like, when I think about that, you know, we were fresh in high school and we didn't know what to expect, and, you know, we're traveling the world, we're all together, and I just remember like staying in dorm rooms and, you know, coming down trying to figure out what we're going to eat. We're trying to find bread. We're trying to find, you know, Fanta, orange Fanta. And I mean, that was like, okay, what are we going to eat? What do you eat? What do we eat? And, you know, so you remember just times like that, but just being able to be so close to people, and you really do fight for one another.
Where do you see the league growing? I mean, what do you think that they can do to improve, to get better, to grow?
I think the biggest thing for us is just marketing. You know, we got to continue to market players, and it's hard right now because so many players go overseas, and, you know, that's not an issue that the NBA has to deal with because their off season is so short. But for us, I mean, we play for 4 to 5 months, and then players literally are on a plane a week after their last game to go overseas, and they don't come back till a week or two before the season starts here. So,
okay.
you know, for us, it's just more of being able to market players, whether it's as a whole, the WNBA as a whole, or even in their different markets, you know, team markets, just trying to do a better job there.
Okay. What do you think about playing overseas? How is it different from playing here? Is it interesting? Is it fun or challenging?
Well, I've played 9 years overseas. So my first 5 I did in South Korea. I played in Russia for half a year. I did Poland for a year. I did Istanbul, Turkey for 2 years. Did China. China was my last experience. So it's a challenge just being away from your family. And then, of course, you talk about the different cultures and having to find food that you actually like, and just the language barrier sometimes. But, you know, I think basketball, it's a universal language. No matter where you go, when you look at having a point guard, the plays, everything is kind of done by sign language. So that's the way that we were able to kind of, like going over these plays, everybody's sign language, and that's how it goes.
For half a year, I did.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, Doug, you got a question?
Catch, first off, it's veteran, not older. Veteran player in the league,
Yeah,
right?
veteran.
Always about veteran.
Older is wiser.
True, older is wiser. So you got a new staff this year. I mean, I know Stephanie's taken over, and you've obviously played for her before, but you got Gary coming in, and you got Gail. You excited for the year ahead, the group you have in charge of the Fever now?
I'm really excited. Really, really, really excited. And they were in town, a couple of weeks ago, and I got an opportunity to kind of hang out with them for a little bit. But, I think I'm excited because it's kind of like a new beginning. We're kind of in a transition right now, and, players and just trying to figure out kind of where we're at as a team. And so, I'm really excited about having Klopp come back. He left us for a little bit, but, he knew he had to come back. He knew he had to come back, and then of course Gail. I had her had an opportunity to be underneath her with the national team in the Olympics and the World Championship. So Steph, of course, our relationship. Played with her my first year here, and glad to have her back on staff as an assistant. But now as a head coach, I definitely feel like she is ready for this position and that she's going to do a great job with our team.
All right, great. Gary, you got a question?
Yeah, Catch. What do you see? Any type of role change for you this year? As a veteran now, the leader of that team. Do you see? What do you see going? If any, your role. How do you see your role now as you're getting into your last couple of years in the league?
Yeah, I definitely see my role changing, Klopp, and more so I've always been a leader, but I think that I can even step up and be a better leader, and not necessarily playing more minutes or being on the court more, nothing like that. But I think even behind the scenes, just being able to kind of be more of a mentor. I mean, we have a really young team, and I've talked about that last year. Okay, really don't have anything in common. The next closest person to me is 8 years younger than me, but. Just trying to be more of a mentor and trying to just show them, this is what you have to do to be successful in this league and to stay relevant, because every single year, Klopp, just my work ethic is one thing, but every single year you have to bring something different to the game. And if you don't, you're just going to stay level for the rest of your career. So just being more of a mentor and trying to help our younger players get to the next level.
Right.
So we can win.
Yes.
Now, you're involved in other stuff as well. You have charity stuff you do. You don't just focus on basketball. Tell us some of the stuff you do and why do you do it?
Yeah, I have my own foundation, the Catch the Stars Foundation, which we celebrated our 10th year. Well, we're still celebrating our 10th year with the foundation. But, I'm very passionate about working with kids. We work with boys and girls ages 7 all the way up to 16. And we focus on fitness, literacy, and mentoring. So we have a lot of different programs that kind of span across those 3 big buckets. But my passion for kids and just giving back. Our dad played in the NBA for 11 years, and I just remember as a young girl, just my brother, my sister, and I being packed up in a car to go give out Thanksgiving turkeys or feed the homeless, or even at Christmas having to give away some of our toys. So did that when I was younger, got to the University of Tennessee, and Pat always emphasized not only are we going to be great in the classroom, we're going to be great on the court, but we're going to be even better in the community. And she always preached about being all around people and giving back to the community. So I think between my dad and my parents kind of planting that seed and then getting to Tennessee and being reminded of how important that is, and then of course getting here and just seeing all these kids at every single game that you go to, they're just so excited about being around you, and they yell your name the whole game, and even when you're in the middle of something, you hear your name, Tamika, Tamika, and it's just, you just become passionate about working with these kids.
That's cool. That's awesome. So you give back on the court and off the court. Love that. So you talked about your dad in the NBA. Do you ever want to challenge an NBA player in horse or something? You think you'd take him?
No. I think no. Yeah, I mean, we do, and fortunately for us, I mean, we have the Pacers literally right around on the other side of the arena from where our locker room is, and we have a great relationship with the guys, and just, I mean, we're always in the gym together, but we've never done the challenge. If anything, I'll jump in and try to do some of their drills, and some of them in the past have come and actually practiced with us.
Okay. All right. We've got another question here. Vaden, go ahead.
Hey, Tamika. So you're heavily involved with the WNBA Players Association. Talk to us a little bit more about how that's affected the growth of the league and kind of where you see the WNBPA growing in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great thing for me. I've been the president literally since I'm the third president that we had, and I think I've been the president since, 2003 or 2004. So it's about time for me to pass that baton on to somebody else. But, it's been great just representing the players, and that's what we're here for. Our executive committee, it consists of me as the president, Swin Cash at the VP, Tanisha Wright, the second VP. We got Jane Appel as secretary, and then we got Nneka Agumake. I forgot what Nneka's role was off the top of my head, but, between the five of us, just making sure that we listen to what the players want and need, and take it to right now we're looking for a new director of operations, but eventually when we get somebody else in there, just being a support team, a support system for our players, and making sure whatever issues are going on that we're there to kind of put out the fires.
With everything you've done, I mean, we're talking Tennessee Vols, we're talking WNBA, and even in the Olympics, there had to be one special moment where you look back and go, okay, that was cool. I mean, there's some really neat things you've accomplished, but what would be at the top of your list?
Wow. It's hard to say because everything is on so many different levels. Like winning at Tennessee, even going to the University of Tennessee, to me, I was in 8th grade the first time I saw Pat. So, I was like, oh, man, if I ever get the opportunity to go to the University of Tennessee and wear that lovely orange, which I try to put a little orange on for you guys today.
There you go.
It might not be all the way orange, but it'll do. Just having the opportunity to be a part of that system and being underneath Pat, and then of course you look at even my junior national team, never even thinking about having the opportunity to represent your country at such a young age. So it's hard to pick one because WNBA championship, you look at that and it's kind of like the Olympics is different. I mean, you got the best of the best coming together and competing for your country, not your family and but we're talking about everybody in the United States of America. That's who we represent going over there. The WNBA, it's different because it's like, okay, you're representing your family, you're representing your school, you're representing, the things here in America. And the WNBA is definitely the best women's league around, period. But, so winning a championship in that with so many different people, I mean, all of them, I can't, pick one thing that's just like, man, I think the coolest thing, I would say one of the coolest things, though, for me, I love Barack. So, being able to referee a game when he was kind of on his campaign trail, being able to referee a game here in Terre Haute. And I was hurt then, but they were like, okay, we got to have you involved somehow. So I got to be the ref. And, yeah, that was cool.
That is neat. Awesome. All right, Seth, you got a question?
Yeah, that's a great story. I make it a rule, you never tell a pro athlete when to hang it up, because unless you want to walk a minute in their shoes and pay their dues the way they have, it's not your place. So this could be 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Where do you see yourself doing, and is it involved in basketball once your playing days are finally over?
Well, next year, when my playing days are over. After that, I really want to get into, I do want to stay around basketball, so I would love to get into the front office and, be able to make some decisions. I don't want to be on the court, and everybody's like, oh, you'd be a great coach. I just don't have the patience.
You don't want to tell people what to do?
I want to be up in the office, and I can watch video, and I can, just I think I'm very intrigued by putting things together and trying to create a team, a winning team. And so that's something that I really, really want to do and see myself doing. But I want to get married. I want to have kids, I want to do, and I always say this to people laugh, but I want to do what normal people do. I feel like right now we kind of live in a bubble. Our world is pro sports in general. We live in a bubble, and once you get out of that, it's kind of like, oh, this is what real life is like. But so I'm anxious to see.
What's the first thing you're going to do as what you say a real person does?
Not work out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You're going to lounge around the house and not work out for like
a year. I was just playing. I don't know. I don't even know like where to start. I follow Tina, Tina Thompson. That's like my big sister. So I follow her on Instagram. It's funny because every time I hit her, I'm like, where are you? Like 1 minute you're here in America, now she just got back, I think, or she still might be over in China, and she's down in Florida, she's in Texas, she's in LA. I'm like, you are everywhere. But she's living the life, her and her son, they just pack it up and they just travel, and I think that's awesome.
I bet you should just eat Cheetos and burgers and milkshakes and do all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know about
that. All right, Caroline.
Yeah, so Tamika, you've had a lot of teammates throughout the years, and you've got your camp, and you're trying to impart things to these kids. What makes a great teammate, and who are some of the best teammates that you've had, and why?
Ooh, I think the thing that there's different levels of what makes a great teammate. I think when people look at different teams and even looking at different leaders, of course, one thing my dad always said, you want to be respected and not liked. And to a degree, I agree with that, not all the way, 100%. But, when it comes to, like, being able to respect your leader and knowing that they're going to take you into the right direction, I think that that's something that you need, somebody that will get on me if I need to get on, and, somebody that will, like I think of Dawn, and I think about the 2004 Olympic team, and just how when we needed somebody to pull all of us together, like she was that one, and she knew how to talk to every single player on the team in their own language, not necessarily like yelling at every single person, but she knew what to say and how to push people's buttons and how to bring everybody together. And I think that like was a sign for me of, wow, like that's a great leader. But then you also have teammates, and I'd say my best teammate that I ever had was Zuzi Klimsova. And the reason that she never played, really, I don't even know how many minutes she played. She might have played the whole season, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, or maybe more, or maybe not even that many. But the one thing about her, she always got to the gym early. She was always working on her game, and she used practice. Like, she always pushed us in practice. But for me personally, like, she was that person when I was having a bad game or, something was going wrong. Like, she would always come up to me. She'd run up to me in the huddle, and she'd look at me, and she'd say, Meek, you got it. You got it, Meek. But she had so much confidence in me. And, from being a leader and being that player that everybody's always, like, looking at you, like, with wide eyes, like, you got it, you do it, but they're scared to say something to you. She was the one that, like, constantly was in my ear, like, you got to try this, you got to do that. And so, like, being a leader on the Fever and having a teammate like her, like, she was the best teammate that I had.
That's interesting because a lot of people don't notice that sports is there's so many dynamics to it that sometimes someone that doesn't even play could be one of the most inspirational people on the court.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Okay, Doug, you got a question?
Yeah, Catch, along those lines, I mean, you had one of the I'm guessing one of the highlights of your life was being at Lauryn Hill's game a couple months ago.
A lot of people don't know
that, like, being there for such an inspirational moment. A girl who's meant so much in basketball.
Okay, I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. I heard, like, all the background.
No, I'll repeat it. Just saying, like, you talking about inspirational players you played with. You had the pleasure of going to Lauryn Hill's game a couple months ago. Just what that meant to you being there, to be around a girl who's inspired so many with her story.
Yeah. What a great young lady. And, we had an opportunity. She came down here before that game, and we made her the honorary Fever player. She came to one of the Pacers games and, got honored at halftime. And then, of course, a couple months later, we went down for her game. And, just being there at the game, it's like even now, like, it's a feeling that you'll never forget. This young girl going through all of this, such a, like, she's such an inspiration to her teammates and all the people that were in that gym, because, you never heard her really complaining about, feeling anything, like being down about it. I mean, I feel like every time you talk to her and every time you're around her, and even talking to her parents, like it wasn't just a show when other people were there. It was more like this is how she lived her life. You know, she really had faith in God as far as, you know, there's a reason I'm going through this, and, you know, she put it out there, but she kept fighting, and playing basketball was her dream. So for her to have a dream and still be able to achieve it, no matter what the circumstances, and so many people around her to be able to allow her that opportunity, you know, it's just great for us to have an opportunity to be a part.
Awesome. Michael had a question here. His microphone's down. Your career is winding down. So tell us, what do you think about the NBA? And then why or why not? And what do you wish is better about the NBA?
About the NBA or the WNBA?
WNBA. Yeah, that's right. I got my microphone went out for a sec.
Yeah. So what do I think? What was the question?
I'm just reading it from Michael Pointer here. Now that your career is winding down, are you pleased with the state of the WNBA? Why or why not? And what do you wish was better?
Well, of course I'm pleased with it. You know, next year we'll be celebrating our 20th year at the WNBA. So for us to still be around, and, you know, you consistently look at the players that have come in and that have made a difference. You know, I'm excited about the future of women's basketball, especially the WNBA, and just the growth of it. So I think I talked about it earlier. The only thing that I would see that we really need to make a big change on is obviously the marketing, but even more so than that, just being able to keep our players here. And, you know, who knows, the league might get extended a little bit longer, whether it's on the front end or the back end down the road, but being able to provide more opportunities here in America. Awesome.
And then we'll wrap that up with one last point. You're talking about the marketing. Social media, Google Hangouts, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. The opportunities are a lot better than even 5 years ago. Have you been able to leverage that, and has that helped in marketing?
Yeah, it has. I have leveraged it, and, you know, you kind of look around, and it can be a positive or a negative for some people. You know, sometimes when you're in the moment and you get mad about something, that's not the time to get on social media. You know, because everything that you put out there, one way or another, even if right when you put it out there, you delete it, somebody's gonna get it. And so, you know, just for me, I really talk about just my family a lot, and my foundation a lot, and just if there are different things that I'm doing in the community, like I'm going to India on Sunday, so, you know, that'll be something all next week I'll be tweeting and hopefully posting pictures about. But, you know, I think as a professional athlete, people are really intrigued by our lives and what we're doing and what's going on. So, you know, being able to use all the social media outlets that we have, you know, gives an opportunity to bring everybody into our life in a restricted area, of course, what we want to put out there, but, you know, being able to kind of share what our life is like, and, you know, and our fans really appreciate that.
Well, I'll tell you what, you were interesting to talk to. We really appreciate your time. Congrats on all your success. I mean, everything that you've done, from on the court, off the court, traveling, and then even just your philosophy on life. Congratulations on everything, and we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thank you guys for joining.
Thanks, Catch.
Thanks, everybody, for watching, and thanks for being a part of this.
Thank you.